I'm the content marketing manager at TripleSeat. I've only been with TripleSeat a short time, since July, but I have quickly, after many delicious meals at your restaurants, have learned to really, really love the restaurant industry a whole lot. Before I came to TripleSeat, I worked in content marketing at Constant Contact. I was their social manager. I wrote for the blog. I was there for about 6 years. And I've always been doing content. Before that, I was in PR in higher education, and before that, I was a newspaper reporter and got out just in time. So I met both of my panelists while I was working at Constant Contact. You guys can talk about what that role, how that related to that. But here with me is Janine O'Neill of JO Social Branding.
Hey, everybody.
And Lindsay Higgins of L2L Creative Group.
Hello, everybody.
Awesome. So my name's Janine. My business is JO Social Branding. I specialize in email marketing. So like Azure said, I met her speaking with Constant Contact. So I met them in about 2014 and was like a brand ambassador. So I would go out on behalf of them. There was 14 on the team. Lindsay was on it as well. And we would go and educate the community. There was 14 of us in New England, and I was the north of Boston. And I would just go out and talk about email marketing and share social media knowledge, and just it was a great way for me to grow my own business because I was leveraging their brand. So, and then I met some really great people along the way, like Lindsay and Azure. That's my story.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lindsay Higgins, and I own L2L Creative Group. We're based in Boston at Post Office Square, and I actually used to work at Constant Contact as well, and then I started my own agency, and now they send me out and go speak to people just like yourselves, and our agency specializes in constant contact management and setup for businesses, as well as social media management. A lot of our clients know how to post, know how to use Facebook. They're just looking for more of the technical piece of it. So whether it's some Facebook ads or a Snapchat filter that will always show up, we kind of take that over. But I'm super happy to be here. This venue is gorgeous, so I hope you guys are all having a good time so far.
So before I start with a question for you, I have a question for you. Just hands up if you are psyched about marketing, it's awesome, you love doing it. Raise your hand if when you found out marketing was part of your job, you said, shit. More hands should be up. So we know it's tough for you out there. That's one of the roles that I have at TripleSeat, to go figure out all this stuff and help you do it so you don't have to. I'm always reading blogs and going to conferences, writing about what I see. So hopefully, you don't have to go through all of that time and figure it out. People like me, people like these guys try to help you. We write a lot of content. We write lots of blog posts, do lots of Facebook Lives and stuff like that. So hoping to help you guys out. So first question for you guys. So tools like email marketing and social media, they're everywhere. Tons of businesses are using them. But there are still some restaurants and some managers who are resistant to starting email or starting social, starting some of these tools. And not only resistant, but they don't want to devote the resources because it does take a little time, it does take a little money. So why do you think these tools are essential for businesses like restaurants?
So first, I think that when a business owner, there's business owners wear so many different hats. I mean, they're doing accounting, they're doing the marketing, they're doing the customer service. And I think that when they start something new, the number one thing is the fear of starting something new and fear of the unknown of, I don't even know where to start here. I don't even know my Instagram password. These are the real life scenarios that we face. And, we don't have an email list, but, I'd like to do that. I just don't know how to get it going. Those are all kind of the first questions when I meet with business owners, they'll say. And I think that it's 2018. It's, what are brands like, Buffalo Wild Wings and like Wendy's. If you follow Wendy's on Twitter, they're hilarious. Definitely look at that. It's so funny. But they're all using social media. You're not seeing their ads in newspapers. It's where everything is now. So my best advice is just take that leap and just set up an appointment with a consultant or try to find someone that can help you.
Yeah, I think the big thing is if you're not doing it, your competitors are, and they're talking to your audience and they're talking to your customers. And when they start being funny on Twitter and when they start posting things and they start showing up in the inbox, those are going to be the people that I remember as a customer when I'm thinking I'm hungry and I'm going to go out. Where am I going to go out and eat? So you don't need to be everywhere, but like where your audience is. And if you don't have a ton of resources, just do a little research and figure out where your audience is, and then just like hit it out of the park there.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point about your competition. I mean, I think, if you're trying to persuade someone at your business to get started with something, show them what your competition is doing. Like, look, they're getting customers from this.
Yeah.
I think that'll help, in the argument to sway. So there's a lot of tools out there. What do you think are the essential ones that we're going to get started, or maybe they've got so many tools, they just don't know which ones to focus on? One or two.
So I'm an email marketing nerd, and you're going to hear this over and over and over again, but I would say email has to definitely be a part of the equation. Facebook or Instagram, you all have a visual product, you're trying to sell an experience, so I think those are great tools to kind of capture the people that you may not necessarily get. Facebook ads is a great way to like attract them, but then, what are you doing? Are you going to be paying for ads all the time just to talk? Really try and get them into your business, get them like to sign up for your list. So I like to call it email centric. Like, yeah, you can't just do email marketing, you can't just do Facebook, but find a way that you can be taking social media, luring those people in, and then just continually speaking with them through your list. So I would say whatever social media platform makes sense for you, but then email.
Yeah, I agree with Janine. I think that a lot of people, they're like, oh, I got to be on Facebook, and oh, I just got a Facebook page, I have 20 likes, and that's their starting point. But I think a lot of restaurants forget that. What do you need to log into Facebook? You need an email address to log in. So that's how Facebook gets in touch with you, how you reset your password. So if Facebook goes down tomorrow or, goes on a hiatus,
Or
then
changes the algorithm again.
right, yeah, then you're not going to have any way of contacting your customers unless you have that email list. And it's great with tools like Constant Contact. You can reach out to them and announce new menu items and announce specials. So email marketing is definitely number one as well. And I also have been telling a lot of restaurants, if they're on like a shoestring budget, Snapchat is huge for just targeting the younger generation and having a recurring filter. You can now pay like a one-time fee, like roughly it could be like $500, depending on how big your business is, where your business is located, and have a filter with your branding on the Snapchat. So if a customer is having dinner and takes a picture of their food and swipes, they could see your logo and your color scheme and all of that, and you can rotate that monthly. So that I think is huge because it's just more social sharing. So I definitely encourage Snapchat filters at least. Whether you actively use Snapchat as a business account, I mean, totally your call, but I definitely think filters and all the social networks are great too, but
Yeah.
that's the two main I think is good.
There's a phrase that, I heard a couple years ago that I think is important when you're thinking about these tools is, if you are just on social media, you're buying your house on rented land. You have no control over what these social networks do. They're changing all the time. Facebook could randomly shut down your account. I know there was one organization that got their account shut down, and they were in the marketing world, and they knew people at Facebook, and it took a week to get them back up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And they had the connection.
yeah, they had a connection. They still couldn't get it back up. If you're totally invested in social, I don't need a website, it's buying your house on rented land. Your list is your gold. You get email addresses through TripleSeat, you get email addresses through your lead form link. I mean, these lists are sacred to you, and these are the way that you can contact everybody that you need to speak to. So it's important to use both. But definitely, get a lot of good use out of your email list because you can specifically target different people based on their interactions with you or what types of events they hold with you or what times of the year, anything like that. You can run triple seat reports and figure out different kinds of segments of your customers and then email them and let them know what you've got going on.
So I have a really good case study of like it literally just happened to somebody that I know, but it's like the company's called Create and Escape, and so they're the DIY like workshop, like paint signs and sea glass. And so it was these 4 sisters that just decided one day they were going to go and start a company together because they didn't like any other DIY workshop, and it like blossomed to the point that they just got a location. They're located on the North Shore, but because it was just kind of like, okay, well now we have a business, let's promote this on Facebook, and then that's kind of how it took off. And then Facebook changed the algorithm like recently, and she couldn't get her events full. And so she's like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, well, do you have a list? Like, how many people have attended? She's like, we've been in business for 6 months and we've had 2,000 people attend our events. Luckily, it's like captured in a system somewhere so they can access it, but they literally had like all the eggs in the Facebook basket, and then Facebook changed the algorithm and they're like, okay, well, what are we gonna do now for our business? So it's good to kind of like have a heads up and have like a plan and action.
And you can control your list too.
Yes, and you can segment, and I mean,
Yeah.
like if you have in a situation where they're having a hard time filling an event, they could have just easily gone to their email list and said, who are the people that had attended this venue or liked this workshop, and we're just going to try and retarget because we know that that's like a hot audience and they might come back. So, yeah.
And just our discussion about like which social media tools to be using, I think Facebook is critical because everybody's on it. Just make sure that you're posting consistently. It's really hard to get seen by everybody because of the algorithm and because these social networks want to make money off of you. So they want you to buy ads. But when people are looking for businesses, Facebook is it's a pretty consistent setup. You know, the phone number's in the same place, the photos are in the same place, the address is in the same place. So it's, you know, and on the phone, it all looks the same too. People are on the go, they're looking for a restaurant like you. And Instagram, I've noticed a lot of our customers do really well with Instagram. They're really good at it. And Instagram, I mean, it's a joke, right? You know, oh, social media, I don't want to do that. Everybody just posts their food. But they do. And your food looks amazing. So you should be putting that on Instagram. People are looking for food pics.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's talk about these individual tools. Email marketing, you don't have a list. How do you get started?
Call us.
You know, I always hear people say to me, it's like the chicken and the egg scenario. Like, I need to do email marketing, but I don't have a list. Or I have a list and I don't know what to do with it. So, like, really, if you don't have a platform to use, just start, like, collecting email addresses. And the easier way to do it is to get on a platform like Constant Contact, where they have sign-up tools and, like, forms that you can embed on your website and text to join and all these other tools that are already there for you. So when you start talking about your email and your newsletter and however you're going to communicate with your audience, they're literally just pulling that information into this database, so then you're ready to go and you're not like taking a notebook and sitting there and typing and like, is that an I or is that an L? I don't know. So it's just like if you have these tools, so even if you just go and set up, there's platforms that are free too. So if you don't want to commit right away, you can kind of just get your feet wet a little bit, send it to your team if you're like have a little confidence issue with it. But I would say get started on something and then have those tools, set up those tools so that you can start communicating and getting people on the list.
I agree, yeah. One of the things, I mean, usually when I meet a restaurant that just doesn't know where to start in building a list, what we'll do is we'll implement a whole strategy where we get notepads, paper sign-up forms, so they're inserted in the check presenters. Mm-hmm. So the server, and then we'll hold server contests, and they'll collect the email signups, encourage people to sign up for the email list. You'll receive a free gift on your birthday, and usually it's like a free appetizer, and that's set up through Constant Contact as well. But we'll have the contests go crazy. Like we did Celtics tickets, I think last year. Last year, and people were like, "No, I had more than you." And everybody, the servers' names are on the back of the notepad sheet. So it was great for us to track who encouraged the most people to sign up for the newsletter, and it was a really great way to grow the list. We also hold social media contests. We'll use the link to the sign up form. So sign up here. The 100th person to sign up for our email list today will receive a free appetizer, and we'll send it to you by email. So there's a lot of creative ways that we can help build your list, and so it's not so scary, but it's and and you want to continue to grow it as well. Another point is just a lot of restaurants, I see that their list is really it's just stagnant. It's the same number every month. They're not adding any new contacts. Some maybe they exported it from TripleSeat or somewhere, and they have a list, but they just don't add any new emails. And it's really, really important that you continue to grow it every month and use that as a benchmark. If you had 30 new email addresses or 100 new email addresses, it's definitely, it's better than nothing.
And you mentioned, using TripleSeat as well. Your lead form link, all of the lead form tools that we have requires people to enter an email address. So even if you haven't gone with an email service provider, you still have a database. If you have been using TripleSeat, you've been having people inquire and book events with you. So you've got somewhere to start.
Exactly. And it's like you can use that for, there's a playoff game, Bruins, and you can send out an email inviting those people to make a reservation with you. So, or make a Mother's Day reservation now. So there's so many ways that you can use your list if you just don't know where to start, just to give you some ideas.
What about social media marketing? That's a tougher one to get started with.
Do you want to start? Okay, so I think that you have to do a little research in the background first. You need to know who your audience is. You should already know who your audience is, the avatars. Where are they hanging out online? Like, what platforms are they gravitating towards? I kind of said this earlier. You don't have to be everywhere. If Pinterest does not make sense for you, do not go on Pinterest. But maybe it's like Instagram or Facebook. And then it's simply just setting it up. This is it's really easy to get started. I would make sure all your information's on there. I've seen a lot of people, and even myself, I will go to Facebook instead of Google, and I'll start looking at locations near me and looking for food. I think we all kind of do it, and we're like, oh yeah, we do. So making sure all the information's up there if you haven't even gotten a platform yet, and then your pictures are there. Have an album of food or your event venue space, the link back to your website. Do you have parking? All these questions that people might be asking when they call you should all be on your Facebook. And then I would say start promoting it, but make sure that you have even post content for a little bit so that people aren't just coming to a blank page. But it's really easy to set up, but then also stay committed to it.
Yeah, and that's a good point about posting content. Even if it's brand new.
5 people.
Yeah.
It's your mom found you and she's liking you.
Even if you haven't gotten a whole lot of people interacting with the content, it still tells people about you. So if the first interactions with your Facebook page, and you've been posting some things and letting people know what your restaurant's about, what kind of events you have, they have something to look at and go, okay, I can get an idea of what this business is like. So yeah, it's, everybody does want, hundreds of people to like their posts and share them and everything, but that's just, not going to happen. Yeah, right away. So have something there so people can look at it and get an idea of your business. And they might not interact with it either, but it's helping shape their decision. It's one of those things that I call digital body language. They're looking, they're learning, they're making an opinion, but they didn't do anything about it. But then later on, it results in a sale or event booking or something like that.
Yeah. So I agree with both of your points. I think, and I think if you're brand new to and you don't even have a Facebook page or Instagram or whatever, have a professional set it up. I can't tell you how many people I've worked with that will set it up. They'll set up a personal profile first, and then they'll set up a Facebook page. Then they lost the login. There's 6 Facebook pages now. Don't know how to access any of them. One has 10,000 followers. The other one has 200. And you got to merge them all together. Another scenario is they set it up the wrong way, so you don't allow check-ins for the business. So if somebody's at your location, then people can't check in and tell their friends that they're there on Facebook. So if you're looking to just get started, or you already have a Facebook page or Instagram and you just didn't post anything or aren't consistent, I would just start. You just have to start somewhere and just try to stick to a plan.
Yeah.
I think also with social media, it's hard. Like sometimes you'll post something and you're like, oh, this is totally gonna rock and everybody's gonna love it, and then it's like falls flat and you're like, what did I do wrong?
Right, yeah.
And so trying to post different things, like post your event venue, post food pictures. Maybe you have like a full, like there's a ton of customers at your location, and take a picture of that, and just try and get different aspects of your business, and then go into your reporting. I know we're going to talk about reporting later, but go into your reporting and see like what works really well. Because I started working with this hotel up on the North Shore, and they were doing everything. They were posting like what's happening in town. They're a seasonal business, so they're open like 7 or 8 months of the year, and they were like very touristy based. So like this is what you can do this weekend, and you can go to this beach, and you can go to this restaurant. And then they're literally on the ocean. So they would take a picture of the ocean, and then like the post would just explode. So every time, like I went back and I looked at their reporting, and every time it was a picture of the ocean, it was just like so much content and so much engagement. And I'm like, okay, well, how many things can you say about the ocean? Like how many different angles, sunrise, sunset, like from the rocks, like from a balcony. But we tried to get a little creative with it, but it just totally, like every time I want to boost engagement, I just go and find a picture of the ocean or go and take one. It's like, okay, well that's what they get. And I actually have another company that I work with, which they own a farm, and it's like the apple cider donuts. And she's like, if I'm having a really bad day and I just need that like boost to the page, I'll just take a picture of apple cider donuts, and then people will like it. So give people what they like, and then
Right? If it works,
They're telling you what they like.
exactly, they'll tell you. It's free market data too. Like on the back end, these are the people that like your page. These are your customers. They're telling you what they like. So once you start posting and trying different things, then I would just say keep replicating it, and then just trying to expand from there.
Yeah. And you know, if you experiment and you're finding things that work, there's no harm in creating something like a content calendar where you're like, okay, I know people like these kinds of things, so once a day I'll post something, and this is what I'm going to post every week. And then, you know, just keep looking at it, making sure people still like it. But, you know, not everybody, you don't expect everybody to walk in every day and go, I have this fantastic idea for a post, I'm going to do it now. You know, plan a little bit, and that way you know it's on the calendar, you need to do it. Okay, check. I know this kind of thing works. And you know, you guys being a very visual business, you know, photos of the food, photos of the staff, photos of behind the scenes. People love. I mean, you watch all those those videos, Tasty from BuzzFeed.
Oh, yeah.
Love those. Yeah. Right.
Slow motion of people putting icing on cakes and stuff. Like people love that stuff. Yeah. So something like that, a video of like how are things getting made. They want to see that.
Yeah.
And just, again, writing down like a calendar. There's all kinds of those fake holidays, you know, like National Donut Day. I don't mind observing those fake holidays, but there's calendars for this stuff everywhere. I mean, just go to Google and find, you know, days of the holidays of the year, days of the week, and you most likely have something that coordinates. You know, if you've got nothing going on that day, I bet there's some kind of food holiday you
Especially
can
the
post
food,
about.
yeah, it's like National Hot
Or
Dog
make it
Day,
up.
Right,
Cheese
yeah.
Just
Pizza Day.
declare it to be, you know,
Yeah.
today's National White Wine Day. You can make it happen.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Oh, okay.
Right?
Did you know it was
Who's gonna
white
hold
wine
you
day?
accountable?
We'll start a new trend.
Now, you know, it's great to give advice and everything, but people do want real examples.
Yeah.
So can you talk about something you've worked with a business, with a restaurant, a campaign or a particular post or a particular email that was really successful?
So going back to the content calendar, so my company will, we plan everything at least 1 month in advance. And we do this because we don't like to kind of post on the fly and kind of figure out, oh, what am I going to post today? We have a strategy in place, so we try to plan everything a month in advance, so we know that, okay, it's National Donut Day this day, and we know that this is coming up, or this holiday, okay, we have to update the website with accepting Mother's Day brunch reservations. And because of that, we also include staff birthdays. And I think it's because we plan in advance that the posts that we do for our clients, they always get more engagement, more likes, more comments. And it's because of the strategy in place. When we post a picture, like happy birthday to Chef Danny, wish him a happy birthday in the comments below. Everybody, if they see somebody they recognize on a brand's page, they're like, oh, I know Danny. Oh, happy birthday, Danny. And they love it because it's like, all day long. They're like, oh, I saw on Instagram it was your birthday, and people love that stuff. So I think just plan in advance and have people in pictures and food pictures always do really, really well. Just going through all of my clients' photos that we post or graphics that we post for them, the ones that have the most engagement are the contest posts that we do, as well as the food and the staff pictures. So behind the scenes, if the chef's whipping up something, take a picture and don't let them say no. And, if they're like, oh, I don't want that online, just say, blame it on the social media person. I always tell my clients, just say you have a crazy marketing girl that's just saying, oh, we need to do this because of that. So, and they do it. They'll be like, oh, she told me to do it. I don't know what's up there. So, but those posts really do well.
Yeah, so to go back to the hotel client that I have, we knew this organization's been established, they've been around forever, and people will comment on their page like, I used to go here as a kid, and now I'm bringing my kids, and it's like a multi-generational thing, and it becomes, they just get really excited about it. So, and this happens over and over and over again. So we did a contest because we wanted to raise brand awareness and get more likes, and we asked people to share their favorite photos at the hotel. So they could submit up to 5 photos. There was a submission period, and then we had a voting period. So the picture with the most the most points, and you got points based on likes, comments, and shares. Obviously, shares had the most because we would want people to share. And we had these 2 ladies from New York and New Jersey just duking it out because they wanted the free night. And it was you get 1 free night, but you got to book 3 or 2 or 3. And just to kind of give everybody an idea, they had 900 likes on their account at that point. And we had 18,000 organic views because of just the liking and the commenting and the sharing. So it was just something we knew that the audience got really excited about. They were very passionate about staying at the hotel. They were excited to share their pictures. There's that whole competition factor layered into it. And it completely, we were ready to kind of boost. We had money kind of put aside, all right, if this falls flat and nobody's doing anything, we'll just kind of add some money to the budget. And we didn't have to even pay to promote it because, like I said, those 2 ladies from New Jersey and New York just did the work for us. So yeah, that was a post that did really well.
Well, this is my favorite question that I wanted to ask based on, we had a conversation about this last night. Let's talk about the trends that you're seeing that work really well for restaurants in terms of marketing, digital events, and everything.
Sure, I'll go first. So this whole, we kind of talked about it, the activities, events where outside venues come in and they host events at your location has just been popping up all over the North Shore, and I just know everywhere. So I literally have a list. I've checked off the DIY workshop, the sign painting. I did the floral workshop recently. I want to do the cookie decorating one. And there's a sea glass one. But what's really cool about this is that you have these little micro businesses almost in a way, or side businesses that have lists. They have a following, they're promoting your business, they're bringing people to you, so now you have just this whole other area that you can market to, but now also your customers, you have this other level of service to bring them in. So, these organizations are popping up everywhere, so I think it's a really cool way. So I see that happening as a trend, and then Lindsay, you do this with Theme Night, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I also own another company called Theme Night, and what that is, I created it off of an event that I did for a restaurant last year, and I've kind of been under the radar with it for quite some time, and today we actually just published the events, but basically there's so many restaurants and businesses that do regular trivia night, and I feel like, as the consumer, I don't know what's going to be asked at a trivia night. Are they going to talk about science? I don't know. I'm awful at science, I don't want to let, people get really crazy with winning, and I don't want to let the team down if I'm losing for them or whatever. So I came up with Theme Night, and it started in October last year at a restaurant in Braintree that I manage their digital marketing, and we started with a Hocus Pocus trivia night, and we recreated the menu, and we had Salem cider. We had straight out of Salem cider, I think we did. We renamed all the menu items. We had only Hocus Pocus themed menu questions, trivia questions. We had a photo round. And we put it on Facebook, we published it, and it literally went crazy. And people were calling nonstop, and people were traveling from Western Mass to go to Braintree to go to this trivia night. People were messaging, what time does it start? Like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? So then we started making it a monthly thing, and they still do their weekly trivia, and but the themes they take off. So we did Saved by the Bell, we did Beverly Hills 90210, we did a holiday themed one as well. We did the Griswolds Meet Elf. And it was great because you can win. Everybody had really great team names too, based off of something from the movie or the show. And so we had gift cards. We did a gift card giveaway. We did $100 gift card to the restaurant for first place, second place. I think it was 25, and then third place is 20. And so now I created a business out of this. So it's theme night with NITE, and so I'm just coming out from hiding behind it for quite some time now, and so we're going to create an experience for restaurants and venues to have people come in, and we'll manage everything for you, the marketing, all of that. And because it just really took off, people were like, can you do this down the Cape? I just traveled all this way.
When we talked, the panel this morning that Lisa Flores did, they were talking about how experiences are big for restaurants.
Definitely,
So,
I mean, it's like there's only so many things that you can do, like movies, and you got to give people something to do all together.
So I think we have a couple of Slido questions that people are going to ask.
Do you want to take them, Azure? Or you
Okay,
want me to?
sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the TripleSeat integration with Facebook, that's with the lead form link. There's an app on Facebook. So we've got this on the website in our FAQs on how to hook that up. But the geniuses at the Genius Bar can also help you get that together. But that's what it is. It's putting your lead form on Facebook. So on the left side of Facebook, if they haven't changed it in the last 24 hours, there's, we used to refer to them as tabs, and it will appear as one of those on the side. So it's, anybody who goes to your page is like right there, right below your photo. So let's see the second one here. So for event spaces as a secondary but significant revenue stream, how do you convince social media management to advertise private events over regular posts? So we're talking about the different types of things you're talking about with your restaurant. So I guess here we're saying like the social media manager doesn't want to talk about the private event side. They would rather talk about the daily stuff. Private events help pay their paycheck. So I think that's a pretty good reason right off. But I think making it visual, and when you're asking them to post, like come with some ideas to post. So maybe they don't know how to talk about it. So I think taking some great pictures, having some great video, and making sure if you've got pictures from actual events that happen, make sure you get permission from these guys to use it. But showing people how great an event at your space is. And there's certain times of the year that are better to talk about that than others. I mean, the holidays, as you're getting close to that. Mother's Day, if you follow the TripleSeat Instagram account, we posted the other day that Mother's Day is the busiest day for restaurants of the entire year. So, talking about, events that way to get their interest and help them come up with something to post about it, I think will be helpful.
I think for that question, just add a call to action. That's my biggest thing. I think that's the number one thing that I see. If I understand the question correctly, if you're trying to book more private events using social media, post a picture of, a sign from a baby shower or something there and say, know somebody that's expecting, we'd love to host your baby shower. Contact us through our website here, and then put the link to your website so you can tell the person what to do as the next step.
So it looks like, next question, what's proper email blast etiquette? Is one a day too many? Yes.
You know what I like to tell people is like, think about yourself as a customer. Would you want to get an email once a day from a company that, so think about like weekly, sometimes monthly works. I've seen organizations even do like quarterly, like they'll change out their menu, and that's all that they want to do because that's all they can handle, and at least you have something. Yeah, I would say one a day is way too much. If you're going to do one a day, post it on social media.
I think that's where segmenting comes in handy too, where different segments are going to want to hear from you at different frequencies. So
Right.
figure out, when those specific customers, their needs and how often they need to hear from you to generate more business from them.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm going to go at the one at the bottom. How do you increase followers on Instagram? Hashtags. I'm serious, you can never have enough hashtags. I think there was a stat that I read a while ago, like was it for 13 or 15?
15, yeah.
Yeah, your engagement with your photos goes up after 15 hashtags. So, but don't just put anything in there.
Yeah.
If somebody's, talking about the Kardashians, that has nothing to do with your photo, don't put that hashtag on Instagram.
Yeah.
Do a little research. I have a list that I use that I keep on my notes on my phone, so I can copy and paste in the Instagram caption. But look around, do some searching. There's this website called Hashtagify. Hashtagify.me. If you want to know the specific address, come find me later. But you can go and look up hashtags and it'll rate it, how popular this hashtag is. So, think about your local hashtags, the type of food, those crazy weird holidays, National Margarita Day, those have hashtags. So as many as you can use to describe exactly what's going on in the photo. People look for those things. Today I've been looking at EventCamp 2018 hashtags so I can find those photos for TripleSeat's account and like them.
Yeah, you can also even like go in Instagram and just type like, I don't know, Mother's Day, and it would be like Mother's Day 2018, and it
So
will
many
give you like
variations.
related hashtags, and that's an easier way to do it.
It gets
too.
kind of exhausting sometimes though, because
You go down a rabbit hole.
okay, total kind of off topic, but I have cats and I post a lot of pictures of them, and so I have like 20 hashtags I use every time. Black cats rock.
Yeah.
So it does get a little
Yeah,
exhausting.
in the research, because I do the notes as well. So you can do some research, look on Instagram, and then put it in your notes section.
Yeah.
The other recommendation I have, if you're looking to grow your following, is one of the things we do for clients is every day we'll go in Instagram and see who has added the location to their business, to their post on Instagram. So it will say they were at City Winery, so we'll click that and we're gonna see all of the posts that happened here. And then if I was to manage their page, I'd comment and thanks so much for coming in and like it, follow that person. If there's anybody in those pictures, I'd follow them as well. And people are like, oh my gosh, they reached out to me. And it's a big deal to people. And they're like, that's so great.
And one little hashtag tip, you might not know this, but emojis are hashtags. So you can have # and an avocado. And people look for those too. So you guys, you have a million emojis that go with what you do. So you can
Right.
use those too. People do click on those. So we have time for how many more questions? We keep going? Let's see.
Oh, she's
How do you measure return on investment in social media? That is a really complicated question. But there are some things you can put in place. You can track things. You can use, you can use your Google Analytics, and you've got something on your website. You've shared it in multiple places. Go back to Google Analytics. How many people clicked through that? If you had, like when we were promoting EventCamp, we had the link in different places, and I can see on this day we sold this many tickets, and I posted here, here, and here. So you can, make those milestones for yourself. I want to. What do you want to do? I want to do this. This is my goal. And so you need to set things up so that you can track it. There's some great analytics tools out there, but that costs money. But you can, start small and saying, okay, I want to promote this thing, and I'm going to post it here, here, here on these dates, and I'm going to see, did my revenue go up? Did people buy things? Did they book things? And that's how you can start to tell, okay, this is helping me accomplish my goal. And it can help you weed out the tools that are not helping you accomplish your goals.
Yeah, I think like the big thing that you said that I took away from that is like goals. Like don't just like be on Facebook because your boss told you have to be on Facebook. Like be on there to to raise brand awareness, to attract people to your location, to promote a special event, to promote a special menu item or night or whatever it is. But if you go into it with like, I'm on Facebook because I want to increase brand, I want to get 200 more people to like my page. Okay, so now we can create an ad that you have that's going to attract those people. So when you go in with a goal, then you have something that you're moving towards, that then if you, whether you hit that goal or you fail, you're at least, okay, well, now I know I did something right or wrong, and kind of go from there. So with all marketing, you need to have a goal in mind. You're not just like emailing to just email, you're emailing to promote something. You're trying to get people into your location. You're trying to book a night. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a goal. To give you an example, this question is always asked with anytime I meet a new client. And to start, so theme night, when we first did theme night, we did several of them. And it's on trivia night, which is on a Tuesday. And then we take the nights that we did the slowest night of the month in sales. And we look every year, we have a spreadsheet where it's year over year of what we did. And we increased sales with theme night by 89%. So, I mean, the place was packed. So we knew, and it was because of social media marketing. Another example, let's say that, okay, you didn't do an event like that, but you were trying to promote more catering business. So, okay, well, how do you measure that? So we post all about catering for several times a week. And, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Like, okay, are we getting any inquiries through the contact form on the catering page on the website? And it's like, if we are, which, we usually, I can see that. I can see it coming in. So then it gets to a point where the owner I work with is like, Lindsay, no more promoting catering. You're done. Like, we can't take any more jobs right now. So you can see a correlation. I mean, and it doesn't happen overnight. So I think that's a huge misconception. People think like, we have this new social media manager and she's going to post and it's going to be great and we're going to get so much business. But it's not, it's like you don't make friends on social media overnight. It takes time to really build a following, and a good following.
Oh, we got to wrap up. Okay, all right. Well, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.